we have at our disposal such a powerful tool in our brain. It's the most potent tool on the planet. It's the most powerful tool on the planet. It makes the supercomputer seem like a Tonka toy. You are going to be set on a rocket ship ride of achieving your goals by applying some simple strategies, slight shifts, and you will achieve massive, different, better, consistent results that are in line with what you want to achieve. We'll talk a bit about some of the latest brain research facts that will really give you the understanding of how powerful you really are. Now, I say that with absolute certainty and confidence because I've done research for the last 8 years on what has science discovered, what has science understood about me. And what I've discovered is that I have unlimited potential. And that means you have unlimited potential also. Because this 3-pound piece of tissue between your ears, called your brain, is not hardwired like they used to think we were. Yes, we have genetic propensities, but we can even override our DNA. Our genetic code can be overridden. The latest in molecular biology tells us that our environment and our thoughts actually rewrite our own genetic code. That means that if there's something that you don't like about one of your propensities or habits or your way of thinking, not to worry. You can change that, and the neural reconditioning process will help you do that. Now, in the last 8 years, there have been some phenomenal discoveries about the brain, basically because we've got the ability to see inside the brain through brain scan imagery. Things like MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, or PET scans allow us to see where you're thinking, where your behavioral thoughts come from. We are able to understand more about yours and my potential now than at any other time in our history. Your powerful brain has got 100 billion neurons, 100 billion brain cells with 1 trillion other cells to support them. That is incredible because the potential within you, the potential for you to achieve what you want is basically limitless. If you were to write out the potential of your brain based on the number of connections your brain could make, it would take you 75 years just to write out the zeros in that equation. So if you think that you're limited because of hard wiring, because of your genetics, you have to think again. You have the ability to change right now. You've got the ability to become a different person right now by changing the way you think, by changing the way you behave. You're actually changing your total neurological structure in your brain. Now, if this sounds difficult, it's actually not. We just have a better understanding of it right now. While you are listening to this right now, no matter what else you're doing, your body, your brain is being taken care of by this infinite intelligence that gives you and me life. 10,000 trillion electrical and chemical reactions per second are happening without you thinking about it. 10 million cells are dying off as poof, 10 million more are being recreated. You've got new eyeballs, new lungs, new skin, new hair being regenerated from this infinite intelligence within you that is controlled by your brain. And so when we talk about you achieving your goals, you have a phenomenal tool to use called your brain. Now, when we talk about the brain, it has evolved over time. And there are different parts of the brain that are responsible to do different things. What you need to understand is that you can learn how to think properly. You can learn how to behave properly. That is going to be more in line with your new goals. Now, as a species, we have evolved over time. Early in our evolution, we had our reptilian brain. And that reptilian brain was really responsible for keeping us alive. We were very instinctual. We operated mostly by instinct. Well, what's been happening over the last few millennia is that we have developed a new part of the brain called the frontal lobe. Now, the frontal lobe is the crowning achievement of mankind. It's the crowning achievement because it's the CEO. It's the orchestra leader. It's the part of the brain that connects you and I together. It's the part of the brain that connects us to this quantum field of intelligence. It's the part of the brain that's responsible for focus and for concentration and for being in a state of observation. And that is the state that you and I want to learn to be more in, so that we see more things that are in line with what we want. The average human being, they say, loses their focus 6 to 10 times every minute. And all the latest research suggests that this frontal lobe, this area, is responsible for focus. When we talk about focus being like a magnifying glass, that is what I'm talking about. When you have the ability to hold on to your dream, to hold on to your goal, and stay locked on it like a laser, that is when you enter the quantum field. That is when the quantum field gives back to you everything that you need for the fulfillment of that. Through the law of attraction, you attract it. Through the law of gestation, through all of the natural laws, you start to connect right to the quantum field through this frontal lobe. And so how do you do that? Meditation allows you to focus inwardly. It allows you to hold off any thoughts that are trying to get into your consciousness. It allows you to stay focused on whatever goal that you have. So the question is, how did we evolve as a species? Well, it's something new that scientists have discovered, and it's called brain plasticity. You see, every time you have a thought, every time you have an experience, every time any sensory input comes into your consciousness, your brain is actually making new neural connections. And the connections that we make over a lifetime is 1 plus 6 million zeros. That means that your brain and my brain can store over 6 million volumes of any one of your local newspapers. That is gargantuan. You and I have the ability to create new neural connections because we are growing, we are evolving, we are becoming more. Now, the question I have for you is there a way for you to accelerate the neural connections so that you start to achieve success faster? The answer is yes. Now, with that in mind, you and I have two sides of our brain that we have to work with. One is the left side of the brain. The other is the right side of the brain. And in between, we have something called the Corpus Callosum. And all that is a little bridge between the two hemispheres of the brain that allows for communication between both hemispheres. Some people you've heard may be anal retentive or very left brain, very analytical, very structured, very organized, while other people are very right brain, very artsy, very creative, very rhythmic, think in pictures, really are very, very imaginative. Which one are you? Are you more organized, methodical, analytical, and structured? Or are you more creative, more into the free flow of life? The answer doesn't really matter, except for the fact that we're all unique. You're unique. I'm unique. And when you learn to take your uniqueness, the things that make you special, the things that make you shine, those are the things you love. Those are the things other people either love about you or don't enjoy because they're not like that. It doesn't make it wrong. What you need to discover is which talents are special for you. What talents do you have? Do you have words as gifts? Do you have logic as a gift? Are numbers your thing? Or are sequential, orderly things your thing? Every one of us has something that we could latch onto to make us achieve our goals and make us achieve our dreams a lot easier. And guess what? For those things that are needed to achieve your goals that you don't have, that's where you bring other people into the equation. That's where you bring other people who want to help you. That's where you engage other people who have a passion for helping you. because you'll allow them to utilize their talents. Each one of us has to do it alone, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need each other. And the Lone Ranger, okay, but that's not the easy way to do it. I feel a need to help. You feel a need to help. One of the hierarchy of human needs is contribution, to give of ourselves to the lives of others. So how are you going to achieve your goals? One of the ways is to elicit, to ask for help from other people who have skills that you don't have. And in return, you offer to them the skills that you have that they need to achieve their goals. That's one of the strategies that you'll use to achieve your goals. So how intelligent are you? Now you're probably thinking IQ, intelligence quotient. Have you thought about your spiritual quotient? Your awareness and understanding of your connection to the source and of all intelligence and creation? What about your emotional intelligence quotients, EQ, which is multiple intelligences? When I was a child, I was told that if I didn't do well in school, I wouldn't amount to much. I wouldn't be able to take care of my family, and I wouldn't be able to have things that I wanted to have because of my IQ. Well, guess what? There's new information that suggests that there are different types of intelligences. There is verbal intelligence or linguistic intelligence, and that is people who really relate well to sound or to the meaning and order of words, people who love to read, talk, and listen. What about logical or mathematical intelligence? Those are people who've demonstrated the ability for mathematics and complex logical systems. Could you be the person who's got a musical or rhythmic intelligence? Musicians, composers, and dancers show this type of intelligence. What about visual or spatial? Somebody who has the ability to really perceive the space around them and the world around them easily, and that can draw them on paper. What if you're kinesthetically intelligent, where you really have a great way for self-expression and goal attainment or entertainment? You love to move and express yourself through movement and through feelings. What about interpersonal intelligence, where you perceive and understand other people? People relate to you easily and you relate to them easily. Is that not a form of intelligence? What about intrapersonal intelligence, where you understand your own emotions and your values and your feelings, and you love to be alone, and that you feel totally comfortable in your skin? What about those of you who have a naturalist intelligence, where you feel one with nature? When you go out there into the ocean or the mountains or a stream or look at nature in its absolute glory and beauty, you feel one with that. Which one are you? Which one resonates with you? What if, by finding your intelligence, by finding your genius and your unique abilities and your passion, you are now given a gift of being able to express yourself? You are now given a gift where you're able to feel worthy and feel certain and feel confident? What if, with this gift of discovering your new intelligences, you are able to take that and achieve any goal that you set out to achieve? Absolutely. You have within you right now everything you need to achieve your goals. Maybe there's some changes that need to be made. Maybe a few changes in thinking. Maybe a few changes in understanding. Maybe a few changes in your behavior. But guess what? That is what's required to achieve something that you don't have right now. If you were doing all the right things, if you were thinking all the right thoughts right now, you'd already have achieved what you wanted to achieve. So a few minor shifts in your thinking, a few minor shifts in your behavior, and you'll be achieving every one of your goals faster and faster and faster and faster. In the past, I was taught, and many of my peers were taught, to strengthen their weaknesses. And I highly urge you, I beg you, don't strengthen your weaknesses. Discover where your intelligence is and strengthen that. Discover what you are uniquely gifted to have and be and do, and strengthen that part of your personality. That's when life flows. That's when goals happen easier for you. Instead of working against yourself, thinking you're not enough, take the gifts you have and grow with those. Make those your pillars. Make those the things that help you shine. Then find other people who've got other intelligences, other gifts, and help them become your ally. Share your gifts with the world. Take your gifts to move yourself forward towards your goals and dreams and elicit the help of others. Your journey will be so much more enjoyable when you focus on what your love is, when you focus on how spectacular you are, versus focusing on what you're not good at, what's not your natural ability, and what you're not here to do. We're not all like each other, but we are all connected, and we need each other to help each other have a happy, purposeful, fulfilling life.